better as a team than some of the EU LCS teams do right now.
And they have a great wealth of strategies and styles as well. They play these pick comps, they play zone comps, they play poke comps, they play sustain comps. Could list an adjective for every single type of comp they have. Now we are into picks and bans, and Varus, Jace are the bans here from Schalke. Fnatic Academy getting rid of the Camille and the Rengar.
Again, though, they're banning away the Varus. They haven't played it yet. Very interesting that that has been the way that they're going. Could look to high prioritize Jhin if they want it. Likely Fnatic Academy will end up taking it away. That Camille's not going to get through this time. They don't want Smitty J on that. Fnatic Academy clearly don't feel too confident in a Swain matchup. And again, they ban the Lulu.
It's something we've been seeing a lot more. A lot of supports in Challenger Series specifically are playing that Lulu, and it's the Shen lock-in straight away here for Schalke. So with the Camille off the cards, they think this Shen is priority.
Shen over anything like a Kha'Zix, that's because you have a Graves matchup still available as well. LeBlanc was available, and they take the Shen too. So that's interesting pick and ban start for this game. Shen, high priority in North America, at least on day one of this week. Saw it first picked, saw the Vladimir into Shen up in the top lane. I wonder what Fnatic Academy will have for us. The Rumble's available if they want it.
I think the thing with the LeBlanc being open as well, though, Schalke did this before and deliberately picked the Castellan into it. And Veteran, who's their analyst and their coach, afterwards said, we left the LeBlanc up deliberately. Like, we did it with a game plan. So we're actually going to see the Maokai picked up here for Zergoth alongside the Kha'Zix. So Fnatic going more conventional with their style.
So the Maokai right here is because Fnatic Academy want at least the next rotation to come through so that they're not giving away a different lane setup. And they needed to pick it here, otherwise it would have got banned away by Schalke in ban phase 2. Lulex picking up his synonymously Sin, I think works well for Schalke. See what they can do with it.
There's the Jhin again for upset. He's really focusing on these Jhin and Sivir picks, the more utility-based AD carries rather than the Varus, which they are banning out a lot, which is quite an interesting point in all honesty for Schalke. And then Sivir is going to be locked in for Fnatic Academy.
Yeah, locked in. It's Mr. Rales on Sivir, upset on Jhin, as you said. I actually like upsets Jhin in the last game. So where are we going? Both teams have locked in identical roles now, so it means both teams are pinching the same champion pools. Support can be one that we might see Schalke and Fnatic pinch here if the Karma goes out. There goes the LeBlanc for the mid lane. Will it be the Ori, the Syndra banned away?
I would much prefer to see Schalke pinch out mid lane, because Niski has played Ryze in 4 of his 5 games, and like Selfie can play anything. So if you pinch mid lane out, Selfie will get something he's probably comfortable on, and Niski will be forced onto something he hasn't played before.
But then I think if Schalke don't pinch it and Niski takes the Ryze, Selfie has played into that Ryze very effectively. That's a Kennen ban with top lane not available and AD carry already picked. Are they worried about support Kennen or people playing Kennen mid?
No, I was going to say I thought it was for AD carry, and then I realized the Sivir's been locked in.
Both of them have locked.
I mean, Upset did play Kennen AD carry in his first game, but it's locked in. Like, we're not going to...
We saw the Kennen and the Lulu, but that was Schalke now banning it away. So unless Niski's been playing Kennen mid lane,
possibly,
which isn't something I've seen too much of.
No, nor have I.
Seen it in a very long time, Kennen mid lane. But nevertheless, it's not in this game, so we can look at what else gets focused away. That Tam Kench is gone now, which I think is a good ban here against Fanda, and that's a Sona ban. I don't think Schalke wanted to ban anything on this rotation.
I feel that these were bans.
I think they want everything to come through.
It makes sense. Like, if you want to do it, you can ban things out. You can take away perhaps those more eclectic picks. But no one was going to pick Kennen Sona.
No, so. I just think this is Schalke saying, well, we don't want to not ban twice. So, it's a weird one, but that Karma gets locked in. Karma, Sivir, Maokai, run at people. That's what this comp wants to do.
It makes sense. It makes sense. What do you team up with that? Do you go for the Ryze once again and have a run at people and then Realm Warp away composition?
You can go Ryze, you can go Ori, you can go Corki. Like, there's a lot of these mid lane picks that'll synergize well with this. Talia for Selfie, I think, is a good pickup here. We saw it in the last game, seen it now twice from Selfie, and it's actually really good.
Great wave clear, able to control a lot of the map with the Weaver's Wall. Vanda's going to have his Thresh here as well, so it's slightly more aggressive bottom lane, and Syndra is the lock for Niski. Played it a huge amount in CSQ before we got into Challenger Series this split. He's known for his Syndra play. I really want to see him show up today.
So Thresh Jhin is an interesting lane up against the Sivir, the Karma. Obviously, they're going to get pushed in, but this means you can kind of punish the Karma if she steps forward. If she eats a hook, there's no real sustain in this lane. So if you land 2 hooks in the lane, you basically win the lane. So looking to that bot lane matchup to see how that ends up playing out. You're talking about Niski's Syndra, trying to get a little bit more early game presence here from the mid lane. You have the Kha'Zix, you have the Syndra. Good basis to look to snowball mid lane. It's
something he's struggled with, though, Niski's early game. I know he's been playing Ryze a lot, so it's difficult to actually say his early game has been weak, but he hasn't really been able to push the lane up. He hasn't been roaming as much as we'd like to see him doing. Most mid lane matchups he's been in, he seems to have been slightly outclassed.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And especially is a weird thing to say after watching CSQ with Niski. He actually looked really solid, as you were talking about earlier. So it's very strange that Niski now has come into Challenger and is somewhat on the back burner. When he's not the mid laner we're talking about anymore, unfortunately. Like, not in a, this guy's the best in Challenger. So, I mean, there's still time for Fnatic Academy. They did pick up a win in week 1. They've still got 2 more matches after this. I don't think Schalke's the team that you're going to beat, unfortunately.
I think 9 points is kind of the cutoff for me. I think that's what will guarantee you playoffs. Obviously, it's not mathematically decided yet. I think Schalke's, the way they're playing, going to take number 1, and they're probably going to have 12 points from winning all of their games. And then I think 9 is really where you're going to be pretty much decided that you're going to be sitting in that 2nd place or 3rd place spot.
Fnatic Academy do have the opportunity to throw a spanner in the works here. Remember, we are on best of 2, not best of 3.
You can't get a draw.
A win here for Fnatic Academy would secure them a point and deny 2 points extra from Schalke. So it certainly isn't a done deal.
No, it's not until that Nexus goes down. We are about to get onto the Summoner's Rift for our next game. If you want to, you can tweet at us. Hashtag S04win if you think Schalke are going to take the victory. Hashtag FNA win if you think Fnatic are going to equalize this series. Give us our first draw of the European Challenger Series Spring Split. Onto the Summoner's Rift, though, we go, as Fnatic face up against Schalke once again.
Mr. Rales bought a longsword, realized he was playing Sivir, sold the longsword. It's like, I guess it doesn't quite synergize well. When people go the Essence Reaver build, you can start it and try and get that more sustained with the more pots, but he's gone for Doran's. Fnatic Academy, so much hype. And they looked amazing week 1. Reckless said...
I think they looked more Broxer week 1 than amazing.
Well played. Well played. Reckless was saying that Fnatic Academy at that time perhaps were better than the Fnatic main squad. I don't really see that anymore, unfortunately. They obviously a little bit under pressure with the changes to Fnatic's main roster. Amazing going off. Dragged Broxer up to graduate from Academy onto main squad. And now, of course, this week, health issues from Kikis means that, unfortunately, he's not able to play this game for Fnatic Academy, but it didn't all fall apart early on in Game 1. We'll see how Zergoth can do now on Maokai, which is a little bit less pressure on his shoulders.
Oh, definitely. I think the Camille perhaps was him playing and thinking, you have to pick Camille in the situation. In solo queue, I'm sure he would play that Camille and absolutely dominate his opposing laner, but this isn't solo queue, and this is, against Schalke, who understand how to play the map. I'm interested to see Dan start on Wolves here instead of just going straight for his blue buff to start it up. A little bit of a variation from the junglers.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of variations with, Splice were doing it, with mid lane helping on Raptors on Rengar. Dan getting the help this time, as you were mentioning, on Wolves. So it is a fairly heavy pull that he's just got.
Yeah, Wolves and blue buff pull. Is this...
Oh, we've seen this out of Fnatic Academy before.
Yes, we have. Gets him that really quick level 2 and gets the buff for him as well. You can use it either for an early gank bottom lane, which is not where I think he's going to be going, or just to get an incredibly quick clear, meaning that you get that first gank off ever so slightly quicker.
The problem is, Dan, of course, struggling a little at taking blue down with only his Q, doesn't really have the same ability that we saw it from Elise on them when they first did it. There's that level 3 at 2 minutes 20. I mean, Schalke know that this is coming. That's why they've gone and warded the red. They've seen this type of play time and time again.
But Dan realizes, because Selfie comes across to put the ward in the river, so he's not going to go for the invade. It would have been devastating for him and for Fnatic Academy if he had, because he would have died with the collapse coming out from Schalke, or at least had to burn a flash. He is looking down towards bottom lane. Decides he doesn't quite want to go there just yet. And Lulex, smart play by him, intelligent counter-jungling here, knows that Dan's on the bottom side of the map, gets himself a free red.
Yeah, and this is where the play from Fnatic Academy kind of backfires a little bit. The strength of the pull gave the game away. and then moving through the warded area that Selfie and Vanda both denied that vision of. Means the Fnatic Academy don't really get too much from it, and they end up getting 3 buffed instead of getting a gank ahead or a red buff steal themselves.
And Lulex stays around to take away the Raptors as well. It's just denying as much from Dan as possible, because just getting 3 buffed isn't the end of the world for a jungler these days. The way that experience is being changed in the jungle means you get a lot more from your smaller camps. But taking away the Raptors, taking away the secondary camp really stops you from being able to get towards that level 4 point that you need on these junglers.
Oh, here comes Lulex into the mid lane. They're already moving away from it. Niski forced to ghost. Summoner popped already.
So
Niski,
slow to start off with. That was brave.
Risky.
That was incredibly brave from Niski.
Risky Niski.
Dan showing us how it's done. You can get over that wall. But Zergoth taking some harassment here from Smitty J. He'll just get himself back towards the turret. Of course, sustain from that magic passive. Dan is here, but Smitty J's not too low at the moment. Does still have flash. Dan tried to trade in. Flash away. Zergoth flash, twisted advance. Dan was on in the other way. Jumps back in. They're going to try and take down Smitty J, but perhaps miscommunication. Now Dan's taunted up as well, and Smitty J's just like, I can take you both on if I want to. Fnatic back away, burn both their flashes and get nothing.
Yeah, Zergoth went aggressive. A little bit of miscommunication between Dan and Zergoth. Smitty J still wanting to stay in this lane, still wanting to push. But doesn't get a kill from it, doesn't get anything else. Survives the 2 versus 1 and gets 2 flashes in response.
I'm actually surprised by how close this fan vote is, with Fnatic getting 38% of the vote. After that first game, you can be as die-hard a Fnatic fan as you want. I don't think they're going to win this game.
I mean, Fnatic Academy, as you said, Fnatic as an organization have a lot of fans, and they're always very vocal. Fnatic Academy, unfortunately, not going through the best of times over the last 2 weeks. I think Fnatic Academy is probably the most unfortunate that they've already played PSG. No, it's the other way around. For PSG is unfortunate they already played Fnatic Academy, but Fnatic Academy now don't look like the same top-of-the-table team that we thought they were in week 1.
When you change 40% of your roster and remove that jungle synergy and remove that top lane synergy, you are not going to be the same team. You're going to be a shadow of your former selves. But Fnatic Academy, they still show a few signs of life. This is not the week that we expect them really to be able to kick into gear. They should be prepping for next week. Vanda locked up slowly, well, slowed up by the chains and didn't quite get the tether off at the end. But bottom lane has been quite quiet in these last couple of games. It's been much more looking at just waiting for the game to develop for Schalke. They're much more a mid-game focused team. They're happy to let the early game just slowly while its way away, and then when you get to that 20-minute mark, they really kick the afterburners in and try and just starve the enemy team.
And Schalke have been fairly smart with their bot lane as well. In the last game, swapping up to the top side early on, trying to pile the pressure onto the Camille. But now the Shen is 6. Will Fnatic Academy do what teams in the LCS have done against the Shen? Pull your bottom lane up to top side, attack the global, and don't give Schalke the ability to dive with that Shen Stand United available. Dan's looking for the bot side himself. This is against the Shen, but look at how Zergoth has dropped back into the jungle. Schalke, they're not under too much threat yet. They already recognize the play could be happening. Clyde just got pulled in.
Hook comes in, there's the play as well. Upset exhausted, Clyde's quite low, doesn't quite land a deadly flourish. Dan is waiting in the wings, but he's only level 4. Lulex is level 6 already. That jungle start has denied Dan so much.
What should have been a clean start means that Fnatic Academy are going to have to reach on this play to try and compensate. The Shen is there. Talia hasn't moved yet, but has Weaver's Wall. Fnatic closing in.
There's the Stand United. Vanda lands the hook, knocked back, exhaust onto Dan. Upsets low, but somehow survives. They get the kill off towards the side. Selfie takes down Niski. Dan dead as well. And a tower dive for Fnatic just goes all ends up.
Why are you making a play on bot lane when Shen has Stand United, Talia has Weaver's Wall? They will group on you faster than you can kill anybody under that tower. Fnatic Academy just took too long. Schalke saw the play coming a mile off, and now look at the response. Here comes Lulex to the bot side with Selfie as well. They've taken the blue buff. Schalke want to continue this fight. They missed the Sonic Wave.
Yeah, it doesn't matter too much. They're going to be able to get the turret. All they needed to do was force it off. If Lulex gets a kick there, all well and good. But you get the first tower, you get that gold lead, and it's going to be about 3,000 ahead, only 7 minutes in.
Curtain call.
Here comes the curtain call, looking for Climbers. Morales will tank up a shot. There comes the next First tower blood goes down, and it's 3,000 gold ahead.
This play, look at Talia already starting to move. Cuts through the back of the jungle. Doesn't even come the short way because Schalke can read this play coming a mile up. Upset still has Flash available, or had it at the beginning of this, had heal available. No summoners had been used, so Selfie had already come through the fight, picked off a lot of Dan's health bar, and Fnatic Academy just had nothing more that they could do there. Dan is struggling in this game. Only level 5 still, Lulex is level 7.
And the thing about this is, though, a lot of people will be quick to say, you know, Dan's new, it's his fault, this is his mistake. This isn't his mistake. This is Schalke reacting well to the fact he may have gone for the red buff invade, and Lulex understanding that the enemy jungler is taking a little bit longer than he should have done to do his first clear. And
Fnatic Academy making a very, very rookie mistake on attacking a team with Shen like that, and thinking they have the numbers. Yeah. Like, Zergoth didn't TP in. Like, you just cannot make that play as a team. We've seen that in the LCS.
This is what? Desperate Dan gets demolished by Selfie.
Got annihilated. You didn't even see his health bar go. He just popped.
That's what happens when you land the hook, and that's all that Schalke need. Once again, Dan falls, still not even at that level 6, lowest level in the game.
Selfie doesn't even have that many items. I guess maybe upset, maybe hit him with like a 4th shot or something.
That's enough, but Nisqy stays around once again. Here comes the unleashed power. Lulex survives.
Oh, he survives.
And Schalke are just demolishing Fnatic Academy. This will be their second tower. I can't even see damage on any of the Schalke towers at the moment.
No, top tower's getting pushed in, but it will get responded to in time. SmittyJ has his teleport available, and that's only 2 minions in the wave, so no way of Fnatic pushing this through. Fnatic Academy just look like they're broken after that first play. Schalke ruthlessly collapsing and just picking up kills. They've gone from nothing, and 2 minutes later, 4 kills on the board, 2 towers down. They'll look for top side after. Fnatic Academy are going to try and just sit around in a bush and try and pick somebody off. But if Vander lands a hook here, it could be the end of Clay or Mr. Rales. Look at this, actually, the way that Upset's pushing up in the lane. Vander was sitting down in the river, ready to lantern him out, just in case this play happens.
Oh, Mr. Rales going in there. The lantern still chained up, exhausted, down the flay away. Here's the Stand United once again. Mr. Rales stops the hook coming in. Clyde takes the curtain call, though. SmittyJ is going to taunt him. Here's the TP. Clyde's low flay, back box down. Selfie joins the fray, and here comes Zergoth. He's onto Vander. Mr. Rales dead in the back line to Selfie. Flashes away. Zergoth trying to be that frontline tank. Just cannot do it. Dan gets the Drake, but it's too little too late here for Fnatic Academy.
Schalke are still coming. Lulex, level 8. Ultimate still available, is looking for this top tower dive here. Nisqy, unless he can land a stun, I don't think Lulex is going to go fully aggressive here, but Fnatic Academy cannot really defend this tower. And that was a late TP from Zergoth. Schalke already choosing the fight. The Stand United had already completed by the time Maokai arrived. Schalke are just ruthless in this game.
The thing about this is, though, like for Fnatic Academy, if you have a team where you've got synergy, where you've developed bonds of friendship and you understand each other and you can motivate each other, going a little bit behind, going a couple of thousand behind early on isn't too big a deal because you can rally and you can group. But these guys will be thinking, look, we've got 2 new players, we've got a substitute in, maybe you don't have that trust that you need in the rest of your team to actually be able to motivate yourself to try and win this game.
Yeah, there's a lot of motivation required to try and regroup Fnatic Academy. So there's always an interesting thing whenever people compare LCS and Challenger teams, and that is the strength of the opponents. But on plays like this, look at how clean Schalke are on this. Vander is already defending this play. The Lantern comes out, drags Fnatic away. It's a nice spell shield out by Rales to deny the hook here, but there's no TP. Why is there no TP? Curtain calls come through already. Schalke are still going for this dive. They have been for 5 seconds before that TP even begins. Zergoth comes in, doesn't even get Vander because he's not got the damage set up behind him. Mr. Rales dies, Fnatic Academy regroup, and Dan was in the bot side taking Dragon at the same time.
We always hear the argument, if you're behind and you're getting objectives taken away from you, go for the other side of the map. They did get an Ocean Drake, but perhaps it would have just been better to have Zergoth and Dan say, we'll push bot lane, we'll get a tower, we'll try and get some gold for ourselves.
Potentially. I mean, Schalke, they are making plays more decisively and cleaner than teams like Origin and Roccat are. Roccat did make an improvement in this week's EULCS, and it was a considerable one, but honestly, when you compare a team like Schalke to Origin right now, it is worlds apart. And yes, Schalke are playing against quote-unquote weaker teams in Challenger. That has to be recognized. They're not playing against G2. But still, when you look at what they're doing, the theory behind the plays they're making is way stronger than Origin's right now. And that is what is scary from this Challenger team. Dan's gone.
Story of the game, in all honesty.
Now Selfie goes in.
There
Same
comes the
thing.
curtain call. Once again, the Weaver comes down as well. Selfie tanking up the turret. There's a lantern for him just to get himself out of there. And Mr. Rales forced back once again. Here's Lulex. He's looking for the wall jump on the spot. Flash, hook,
Gets the
back,
hook.
and Klai is dead. Upset takes him down. 8-0, Schalke.
Same thing again, it's a numbers game. You have the ability to group Schalke, just bring the Talia in as soon as one person's down. You get the tower, Lulex comes in behind, risky plays, maybe a better team will punish you on that. Maybe you'll get stopped, but Lulex has no fear. Goes in, gets the kick flash, easily pushes another member of Fnatic in, 8-0. One dragon might be all Fnatic Academy get in this game.
Could have been a perfect game once again, but not quite there because of that Ocean Drake take. And I want to just bring attention to Vander as well. He's been involved in every single kill this game. Lulex almost going down. The hook once again onto Dan. Vander just saving Lulex's life with the shield.
He wants to
Dan
go.
flashes into Stand United. Lulex turns it around. A lot of help from his friends, but Dan is just incredibly desperate at this point.
Yeah, Schalke are just playing with their food right now. Fnatic Academy have fallen apart. And again, it's a numbers game. Notice Dan is dead from that jungle skirmish, and it's just a matter of time. They've already got Rales on half health, Klai on 2/3 of his health, Lulex through a lot of that damage, just flashes past, gets the kick. It's looking all too easy for Schalke right now.
The mechanics of his ward jump are really good. Just the ward was not perhaps in the right position. Could have perhaps been slightly back, but yeah, Schalke now with a 9,000 gold lead, only 15 minutes in. This is early game. This is what we wanted to see from them. And like, I criticized it in game one. Before game one happened, I said that early game has been weak against PSG. That's where they fell behind. Here, they're showing us exactly what they can do if they get their teeth into their opponents early.
Yeah, they they have not let go either. That's the thing. Every minute there's been another play. And you can see Talia pushing up in the mid lane, already looking to try and cross through. Dan has run out of paths to go through in his jungle. He is still 2 levels down, the same level as Vander right now. And Dan just cannot freely move through his jungle at all. 0-4-0, being caught out every time. This Thresh has worked very well for Vander.
That it has, and Lulex done a great job on the Lee Sin as well. Selfie, we talked about him before the game, highest DPM. Well, this Talia is working dividends. Oh, Upset!
Oh, Upset.
That's not where you want to be, Upset.
Oh, that was...
That's the Upset of 2 weeks ago right there. He's often being caught out because he's been over-aggressive, and that's a little bit over-aggressive.
That was ambitious.
You can see in his mind, though. It's like, can I get the angle? Can I do the maths? Trigonometry? Get the triangle down? Pythagorean theorem wasn't good.
Right in front of 4 members of Fnatic Academy.
And gets like Zergoth on the Maokai as well. It's like, I wonder what's going to happen here. I mean, they did use the on the hunt to get the kill, though. So he got an ultimate out from it.
For Fnatic Academy, that's still worth.
Yeah, it's definitely worth.
Getting the kill is the worth bit. It at least might temper some of Schalke's aggression. Oh, no. Okay, Smitty J wants to go in.
Smitty J playing that Shem pretty well. There's a Cloud Drake on the cards now as well. Lulex should be able to just get that for himself. Niski! Selfie has been absolutely destructive on this Talia. It's gorgeous to watch at points.
Oh, okay. Fnatic Academy are throwing one last roll of the dice, 4v5.
Here goes the hook. Klai solo. Selfie exhausted. Klai is dead, as you say. Upset was there.
Now, Zergoth, he doesn't want any of this fight anymore. He's just walking back away.
So I was like, guys, I thought we were flanking. Okay. You're not flanking today, Zergoth.
So, Fnatic Academy a little bit getting caught up in the hysteria against Schalke. But realistically, this goes back to what we were saying at the beginning. Schalke are looking unstoppable in Challenger right now. They are looking way stronger than a lot of the other teams. And the beginning of this game is a good highlight of that. So many plays, very clean defense. Fnatic Academy, yes, they made a play against a Shen team on the bottom lane, and that is a big mistake, but Schalke reacted beautifully to it.
You have to capitalize on your enemy's mistakes. That's how you win games. You can't assume that just you're better than your opponents, although Schalke in this case are. You have to also react to when they misplay. You're going to have another look at this fight in the mid lane. Actually, Niski
just walks over a ward. Selfie, I'm pretty sure, just ends up popping him. Oh. Ow. That's a lot of damage. Even a little unfortunate that Selfie didn't get him with the first burst of damage. And then look, the TP had already come through from Zergoth. Cly gets taken down. Schalke didn't even need this TP to complete here in order to get this set of kills. In fact, the Weaver's Wall blocks off Upset. And Smitty J for a little longer than they would have liked. Easy kill.
But those are the things they'll be working on. I think you have to remember as well, Schalke have an analyst that went to Worlds with H2K, or a coach that went to Worlds with H2K, who is teaching them how to play at the highest level. Like, you can win Challenger Series without being an LCS level team. But this is an LCS level performance. The curtain call opens up, Zergoth kicks back, Dan low as well, Dan's just dead, Vanda's there. Lulex joins, but Lulex who will fall as well. Smitty J just chasing in. Upset finally comes and joins the fight. There's the Weaver's Wall to knock them back. Zergoth is low. Niski caught out as well. He's dead. Zergoth goes down. It was a 2v5 for a long time, and only one member of Schalke died.
Yeah, successful 2 versus 5 means Schalke 19 minutes into this game. They're going to get the first inhibitor of the game, and that's just critical damage done to the Fnatic Academy base. Schalke 04, Null Fear, they've basically won this game decisively already.
Null Fear having no fear as they continue to aggress on towards Fnatic Academy. Baron is now up if they want it. There's literally no vision anywhere on the map for Fnatic. I can see 3 wards in one spot where Niski got caught out before. But apart from that, they got 1 or 2 wards littered here or there.
And this was the, I guess like with the curtain call, it's not really, it didn't really hit anything. It wasn't quite a 2v5, but I mean, Lulex did end up falling from this, but look at how much time they soak up. Fnatic Academy just can't stay alive, and Schalke just look so strong. But I'm running out of adjectives. So I've got ruthless, so strong, like merciless.
They look predatory.
Yeah.
And Fnatic are their prey today.
They really are. This it's been a tough series for Fnatic Academy. Game 1 looked like it might have started well. Remember, Dan got the first blood with trying to snowball Camille. Oh, Selfie gets taken out. Now Dan's
always in the right spot. Dan's not quite dead yet, but Vanda wants to take him down. There's the hook, here's the box. Upset gets the kill. Vanda does all the work. Upset takes the kill. Supports life in a nutshell right there.
0-0-13.
Only missed out on 3 kills this game.
I was going to say, he missed out on 3. Unacceptable.
Has higher kill participation than anyone else on his team, and he has been roaming around and making those plays, landing the hooks when he needed to. You said that's the reason Thresh can work. It didn't really need to work in the lane because everywhere else was working, but he was still able to get those catches, and perhaps Schalke will go for Baron, perhaps they'll just set up once again. Here's the hook, there's Cly, there's the flourish, and there is the icing on the cake for Schalke. Cly will die. Lulex takes him down, and now they turn their eyes to Baron.
Bye-bye Cly and Schalke no fear. It's a matter of a minute or 2 before this game really is done. They get Niski as well.
Another hook. Lulex takes the kill, and this should be Baron.
Yeah, this is Baron into pushing through with that top wave after it. I mean, Schalke, you got to look at how seriously they have taken being in Challenger. Obviously relegated. Oh, they get Dan.
Oh, that's just pretty. He gets a kill. Just desserts at the end. Vanda with his first kill of the game.
It's great, but I don't even know. It's difficult to be hyped about that. Oh, okay. That's a surrender vote coming through.
That is the game. Whew. It's great play by Schalke. You feel for Fnatic Academy because there has been so much turmoil in that team. Very unfortunate circumstances, meaning that Kickers couldn't play. He was one of their top playmakers, had over 1/3 of the damage on the team. And your heart weeps for them. But you have to think and look at Schalke and say, they're just too good.
You've got to look at how Schalke as an organization have put their stock into their Challenger team and on getting back into LCS. Of course, relegated a little bit unexpectedly. At the end of last year, of course, they had placed higher than teams like Roccat and Origin, but didn't survive the promotion tournament. They doubled down. New training facility, new coaches, new staff, new players that went to Worlds. And it's working out so well for them right now. But they're at a point where they have almost locked a playoff spot, almost locked first place in the groups, and you've got to fear for whoever they match in their semi-final before the promotion tournament, and then you've got to start fearing for those bottom LCS teams, because this looks like a squad that is so close to being deserving. I don't say they deserve it, because you've got to earn your spot.
You've got to win it.
But they look so close to being at that level.
They're playing at a level where if you put them up against one of the lower LCS teams, I would expect Schalke to win. But I expected them not to get relegated as well. It's like, it comes down to how you play on the day sometimes.
And the other story there is we've had that before. We've had Millennium looking amazingly strong. We've had, you know, you name it. There's always a challenger team that everybody's like, this team. This is the team that is going to make it. And then they come up against an LCS team that right before promotion, you know, puts the effort in, gets the roster right, gets the right basis for that series and stays through. But honestly, Schalke are scary. We don't see too many teams dominating games like that. Yes, you can say whatever you want about the opponents, but they're looking great.
Schalke scarier than my Rorschach impression earlier on. Up next, our second series of the evening between Millennium and Team Kinguin. Make sure you stick around. There's the stand united, Vander lands the hook, knocked back, exhaust onto Dan, upsets low but somehow survives. They get the kill off towards the side, Selfie takes down Niski, Dan dead as well. And a tower dive for Fnatic just goes all ends up.
Play as a team, we've seen that in the LCS.
This is
what?
Desperate Dan gets demolished
Dan
by
just
Selfie.
Got annihilated.
Here's the TP, Clyde's low flay, back box down, Selfie joins the fray, and here comes Zergoth, he's onto Vander, Mr. Rales, dead in the backline to Selfie, flashes away, Zergoth trying to be that frontline tank, just cannot do it.